Hello, thank you, and welcome to the Insurance Apprentice. I'm your host, Simon Coleman from SHA. Thank you for joining us yet again today. This week, we continue our quest to find South Africa's ultimate ambassador of the short-term insurance industry. Now we're down to just 6 contestants, and the title of Insurance Apprentice is anyone's for the taking. Perhaps you've already spotted your favorite, so don't forget to share it on social media using the hashtag TIA2021, and you could win a special prize. Now, this past week, a viewer asked if the points scored by the contestants are cumulative throughout the contest. The answer is no. In prior seasons, points accumulated over the whole competition, but this year in our virtual format, it's a fight for survival for every contestant every week. Now, on with the show. Let's welcome our 6 survivors. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
There's less and less faces staring back at me every episode, but happy to see all of you. So I think Anele, you've got this kind of calm exterior that you seem to be presenting, but I sensed there was a serious competitor in you in the last episode. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good. I wish I felt calm inside, so I guess I need an Oscar for that front.
Well, Oscar or title of the Insurance Apprentice, whichever comes first, right? Fiona, how are you feeling? I must say I'm confused by you. You show very little emotion. The ice queen of the Insurance Apprentice, perhaps? What's going on for you?
Trying to be cool, calm and collected, Simon, but inside dying a little bit, but excited.
Okay, well, best of luck to you today. Sumit, I don't know, when I look at you, I want to go like this. How's it going today, Sumit? Feeling confident, relaxed, maybe?
How's it doing?
Yes. Have you taken your medication today?
Yeah, well, extra caffeine this morning, Simon.
Okay, good. So you'll be quite relaxed then.
Perhaps the total opposite, as I've shown in the past.
Yeah, let's turn our attention to Taffy for a second. Taffy.
Yes, Simon. How are you?
I don't know. I'm getting a sense that you're quite comfortable either in the middle or the bottom half of the table. Is that where you want to be right now in this competition?
No, not really. Hey, coming from an episode where I didn't show up, I hope I bring it today.
I was thinking that, it's like fastest incorrect answer first, Taffy. Bam. Nice.
I'll try.
You're gonna need a different strategy today, that is for sure. All right, this episode is brought to you by Discovery, a South African financial services group offering health, banking, investment and insurance products to individuals and organizations. This week's questions have been prescribed by Discovery and will focus on heavy commercial vehicle insurance. So without further ado, it's time for Rapid Risk. In Rapid Risk, our contestants will be asked 10 multiple choice questions. For every correct answer, they will be awarded 6 points, which will move them up the leaderboard. The first person to get the answer correct scores an additional 4 bonus points. The contestant with the lowest score at the end of the game will be eliminated, while the remaining 5 contestants will advance to the next round. Contestants, are you ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Your first question. Which country has the highest rates of heavy vehicle fatal crashes? Is it A, Australia, B, France, C, South Africa, or D, the United States of America? Get your answers in. Yeah, unpleasant, but correct. The right answer is C, South Africa. Everybody got that right, except Masechaba. Taffy, congratulations, straight out of the starting blocks. Feeling excited? Good start to you. Feeling good?
Feeling good. Let's keep it going.
Excellent. Masechaba, what happened there?
I didn't read that section.
You didn't read that really short question. All right, let's move on to the next one. What is the average number of fleets in South Africa? Is it A, 100 fleets representing 8,000 trucks and buses? B, 300 fleets representing 17,000 trucks and buses? C, 200 fleets representing 12,000 trucks and buses? And D, 50 fleets representing 10,000 trucks and buses. Don't try saying trucks and buses after a few drinks. Only one correct answer that round. The correct answer being 300 fleets representing 17,000 trucks and buses. Fastest correct answer, the only correct answer, Taffy once again.
Ooh!
Taffy,
Let's
have you
keep
got
it
some
going.
crib notes there or something? How is this happening?
Coming from last week's episode, I have to give it all today.
Now, well, great start. Good luck to you. What's happening with the rest of you guys? This is ridiculous. Only one person getting the correct answers. Either Taffy is an accomplished hacker as well as being an experienced motor fleet underwriter, or you guys are totally messing up your opportunity to become the next insurance apprentice. What's going on?
Well, in fact, I actually thought I had the right answer the last round, so I was surprised when you announced that it was only one person that had it right.
Oh, maybe it's the app's fault. Right, okay. Thank you, Brendan. All right, moving on. How many abnormal load operators are there in South Africa? Is it A, 6, B, 12, C, 24, or D, 30? Log your answers and your time is up. 4 correct answers, better. The correct answer being C, 24, but the bonus points that round go to Sumit. Congratulations, Sumit. Happy with that?
Happy.
Excellent. All right, and well done to the rest of you for getting a correct answer. All right, next question. What are the key elements of road freight transport? Is it A, compliance, vehicles and infrastructure? Is it B, road infrastructure, maintenance and operations? Or C, skill, health and fatigue? Or D, road infrastructure, vehicles and drivers? All right, and the correct answer is D. Only 3 of you getting that correct. The fastest response, Sumit. Welcome to the Insurance Apprentice 2021 episode 7. Never too late. Masechaba, you have been shooting the lights out up until this round. What is going on?
Brain freeze, maybe.
You are rooted to the bottom of the table. Do you have any experience with motor fleets in your job? No.
No, none.
It's showing.
Nice.
Aish. Okay, let's move on. What is the common impact of road conditions on heavy commercial vehicles? Is it A, wear and tear of the engine? B, swerving of vehicles to prevent damage? C, damage to tires and brakes? Or D, unlicensed drivers with reduced skill? Bonus points becoming critical at this stage of the game. 5 correct answers that time, and the correct one being C, damage to tires and brakes. The fastest response was from Fiona. Welcome, Fiona.
Thanks. I'm glad I finally got a fast one.
Yes, fantastic. You're off the mark. Masechaba still struggling down at the bottom. In the lead at this stage, we've got Taffy tied with Sumit, followed by Fiona. Anele, Brendan and Masechaba battling it out at the bottom of the table. Brendan and Masechaba tied on 18. Not too late to turn things around. Let's do it. Next question. Which is an example of a moderate distraction task whilst driving? Is it A, texting on a cell phone, B, checking a map, C, eating, or D, adjusting a hat, also known as an algorithmic discombobulator? The correct answer, only one correct answer that round, was C, eating. The fastest response and the only response really was Taffy. Congrats, Taffy.
Thank you, Simon.
Fiona, you were lightning fast that round with the incorrect answer, skidding straight into the proverbial barrier.
It was a bit of a crash, that one.
It's important to be quick, but also important to be right. Next question. Which of the following is a route risk factor in heavy commercial vehicles? Is it A, goods in transit, B, fatigue management, C, fleet risk management, or D, health management? Your time is up. 4 of you got that right. The correct answer was A, goods in transit. And the fastest response was Sumit, not giving up that top spot without a fight. Well done, Sumit. I like that die-hard attitude. Still an absolute train wreck happening at the bottom of the table. Brendan and Masechaba unable to move out of that tied bottom position, I should say, and both with incorrect answers in the last round. Hopefully you guys are better drivers than you are at understanding fleet insurance. Right, next question. Which of the following is a management control factor in heavy commercial vehicles? Is it A, area of operation, B, recruitment and training, C, drug and alcohol policy, or D, telematics? Your time is up. There were no correct answers that round. The correct answer was a drug and alcohol policy. The table remains as is. Taffy at the top, followed by Sumit. Anele, middle of the table on 30. And Brendan and Masechaba unable to move out of those 18-point zones. The lowest score leaves the competition. If you are still tied, we will go to sudden death. Next question. Which is the secondary reason for equipment failure in heavy commercial vehicles? Is it A, poor compliance with regular maintenance plans, B, a lack of or no existence of maintenance plans, C, a lack of availability of OEM spare parts, or D, the cost of OEM parts and a compromised workaround? Those bonus points will be really useful at this stage of the game. All right, there was only one correct answer, and that was Sumit. Sumit, I think we've got those lightning fast responses flying in formation.
Yes.
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. Well played. I think you might be sitting pretty close to Taffy, if not on an equal footing. You're 2 points behind Taffy for that top spot. The bottom of the table remains unchanged. Brendan and Masechaba on 18 points each. The next question, and possibly the decider of who goes home today. What is the recommended time frame between wheel alignment checkups for heavy commercial vehicles? Is it A, 90 days, B, 30 days, C, 45 days, or D, 120 days? Get your answers in. There were 4 correct answers. The correct answer that round was C. Brendan and Masechaba both got that question right, which would have put you on the same points. However, Brendan was the fastest response in that round, which gives him the critical 4 points. Masechaba, your apprentice vehicle has hit the barrier and the wheels have come off your campaign. The damage has been assessed, and this is where we write you off. Goodbye. Brendan,
Yeah,
how are you feeling?
by the skin of my teeth for the second time, I'm starting to hate these rapid rounds.
That you made it count when it really needed to. The last one of the last question, the last possible bonus points, and you just snatched them away from Masechaba.
I'm glad that it's her rather than me.
Yeah, of course. Nice guy, Brendan. No, it is a competition and you have to fight. Yeah, you have to fight for your spot in this competition, and you've done that. So congratulations on making it through to the top 5. All right, so that completes the first round of this episode. After the break, we continue with premium presentation. We'll be right back.
Discovery Business Insurance introduces innovative insurance for heavy commercial vehicles. We give clients comprehensive market-leading insurance tailored to their needs. We offer the following key features. You can save up to 40% on your vehicle premiums for managing your fleet well. We also offer superior vehicle technology to help with your vehicle fleet management and to keep your drivers safe on the road. You get the DriveView device, our leading telematics technology that measures driving behavior, enables inward and outward views of the cabin, and offers an online fleet portal. We provide important vehicle safety features like impact alert, real-time vehicle tracking, and a driver panic button. You will also benefit from amazing discounts on audit consulting services to become RTMS certified, as well as further discounts on new tyre purchases, wheel alignment services, and vitality health checks for drivers. Discovery Business Insurance. Real value that goes further than the standard insurance cover.
And welcome back to the Insurance Apprentice. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to this week's guest judge, representing Discovery, Clyde Troop. Welcome, Clyde.
Thanks, Simon.
And on my right, my co-judge, Knox Dlamini, who is, of course, the Managing Director of Zonrisk and a previous winner of the Insurance Apprentice back in 2018. Knox, what do you think of this crop?
I'm pretty confident. I think we're getting closer to the right candidate. And I think they all appreciate the gravity of the situation now. And we've seen that complacency can be a very expensive mistake. So I hope none of them make it today.
Excellent. Clyde, good to have you on the show. Over to you.
Thanks, Simon. Discovery, we love to see young talent come through, and I think the Insurance Apprentice is a perfect platform for that. As you know, Discovery Insure are celebrating their 10th birthday this week, which means 10 years of driving innovation, and remain committed now more than ever to create a nation of good drivers through our shared value proposition and Vitality Drive programs. In addition, during the COVID pandemic, Discovery Insure has provided many benefits back to our clients on both a personal and commercial lines basis through our Vitality programs. It's been a natural progression to move into commercial business, thus launching Discovery Business Insure 2.5 years ago, with our multi-peril X product, including Vitality Drive and our specific value-added innovations. Our focus has been on property, liability and motor insurance, including the fleets. We continue to innovate and disrupt in our chosen markets and have just launched a number of new product offerings, including products for doctors, lawyers and accountants, the restaurant industry and HCV. The HCV product will have relevance for your task ahead.
Great, thank you, Clyde. Right, it's about that time. This is Premium Presentation. In Premium Presentation, the contestants are divided into two groups. Following a brief from our episode sponsor, each team will be given 5 minutes in a private breakaway room to construct a spot presentation using their collaborative insurance expertise. Each team will then have just 4 minutes to present, which must be divided equally amongst all the team members. If the team's presentation is poor or deviates from the brief, we, the judges, may hit the buzzer at any time. If a team gets 3 buzzers, they will have to stop their presentation immediately. Now, after each presentation, the teams will receive feedback from the judges. We will then deliberate, and a winning team will be selected. One unfortunate contestant from the losing team will, of course, be sent packing. So for this week's Premium Presentation, Discovery invited the top 6 to their Sandton headquarters for a truck driving simulator experience. Let's take a look at how much of a risk our contestants would pose if they were the insurance customers.
Welcome everybody to our Discovery Insure Driving Academy, where we are teaching you how to correctly drive. We're going to take you from the ground up.
All right, guys. Hi, my name is Jonathan. Welcome to the Discovery Driving Academy. Taffy, you're number 1. Woohoo! Right, Anelli, your turn to drive.
I think the experience is great. I didn't know how to drive like that, but
every car is unique
every driving simulator is unique. Sorry.
I won't get a fine for driving too slow, right? Looking at the other competitors driving, I thought, hey, I don't have this.
Well, I'm actually quite a good driver. In fact, I have Vitality Drive myself.
I think I was just a bit more timid or very conservative.
You're indicating you're turning off the road at the moment, so...
It today went much better than I thought it would. Yeah, I'm not in a rush. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Clutch in. No, you want to go to second. You want to go second. You're doing 60 k's an hour.
I would be comfortable in a car with Brendan because I've heard about his Discovery driver status.
The points I can show you prove that I'm actually almost a perfect driver.
I'm sure Simon is somewhere on this road. He's also going to the same destination as me. Can I go find him? I just saw red when I saw Simon on the road. I just had to. I think he's driving a truck. It's a side job that he has. There's Simon here.
All right, guys, that looked like a lot of fun. Anele, how did you find that?
Super stressful, but otherwise fun and really a great session to learn from.
Okay, great. Taffy, more or less stressful than being on The Apprentice in front of me right now?
Absolutely. Yes, guys, we usually love driving, so it comes natural.
Excellent. Sumit, I was a little concerned about you getting behind the wheel there, but it went okay.
I was the king of the road. The only thing I was wondering about is why weren't the other cars getting out of my way?
Excellent. Well, well done to all of you, and thanks again to Discovery for providing that amazing experience for all the apprentices. All right, so I'm going to hand back to Clyde now, and he's going to take us through today's topic for premium presentation. Clyde.
Contestants, there's an ecosystem that surrounds HGV business and its resultant performance from an efficiency and operational point of view, as well as the insurance performance. There are a number of unique challenges impacting on this ecosystem, namely cost pressures, risk management and the fleet and infrastructure that underpins it, the driver, and obviously insurance products. Your task today is to come up with a new HGV value proposition that addresses these issues and provides innovative solutions to the HGV insurance market, focusing in particular on driving behavior and fleet management excellence. The impact of your answer should lead to a reduction in road fatalities, improved loss ratios, and an improvement in the operational effectiveness of fleets. Good luck.
Thank you, Clyde. Right, so you've already been divided into your two teams. So in Team A, we've got Anele, Taffy, and Fiona. And then Team B is Brendan and Sumit. Now use this time wisely to collaborate and, of course, dissect the brief as best possible. Your time starts now. Clyde, do you think are there any pitfalls or traps that they could fall into while they're preparing for this?
I think if they don't pay specific attention to the risk management side of it, which forms part of the whole ecosystem to create the efficiencies operationally in the business and how it impacts on the different parts of the ecosystem, including the road infrastructure, I think they might miss out on the overall benefits that the product can provide, and not just insurance, underwriting and profits for the company.
We propose,
Did they say?
With 4 minutes, 2 minutes each.
Okay, cool. I'm good.
On the brief, what he kept on saying was a value proposition. So coming up with a value proposition. And I like that we've called this a holistic approach to HGV and fleet management.
Right. So we're talking about, I think, Driver Academy. That's your enhancement to your driver behavior. They've already got the simulator, so they've got the software here.
I was quite shocked because Brendan and Masichaba admitted in the rapid risk round that they hadn't read the material, which means they might not be.
Could be problematic.
Well, Masichaba's gone now, but Brendan could be in a weakened position here because he didn't go through this stuff.
New drivers coming into the industry could use the Driving Academy as a gateway sort of to test their skills And that skill certificate perhaps could be then passed on to potential employers.
Knox, you've been in this position where these guys are right now. It's getting really tough towards the end. What do you think they're going through?
Listen, I wouldn't want to be in that position again. I can tell you that. It's getting serious. So they realize that there's a real chance that they could make it. But
or they could be.
They still need to get through the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to it. Sorry.
Okay, so that's fine. We can jump around if we need to.
Okay, so I'll come and say we need to offer a tailor-made solution for the fleet, taking into account the risk management measures in place.
Okay, we're gonna start again, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give you a timer. Give me one. I'm just getting it. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Thanks, Sumit.
So the discovery shared value thing, are you going to be looking for references to that in the presentation?
Absolutely, that and driver behavior, as well as from an ecosystem point of view, is how that all comes together in terms of it's not just one element that makes HCV profitable or efficient.
I'm also kind of like thinking maybe we won't get to speak it, but I will just make sure it's on the screen when we're getting questioned.
Okay.
Definitely. And you can say value prop there.
We have developed this with many different facets in mind, and what's great about young talent is they teach
old dogs new tricks.
And this is what I'm looking for here, to see if there's something technology-wise or behavioral-wise that they can pick up and deliver on their presentations.
Great, I'm excited. Let's see what they come up with. All right, teams, your preparation time is up. We're going to start the presentations with Team A. Your time starts now.
Good day, judges. Today we are presenting to you a holistic insurance approach to HCV and fleet management. There are many external factors that a fleet manager has to address, but there are many internal factors in the way that the business runs that a fleet owner can address to mitigate their risks. These include vehicle routes, including where vehicles are driving and what weather conditions they will be exposed to along the way, and whether they should be driven in day or nighttime conditions. Vehicle loads, based on how the vehicles are packed and if they are using the right vehicles. The maintenance of said vehicles, particularly driver behavior when it comes to hiring of staff, as well as utilizing unexperienced and casual drivers. All of the above are big concerns for South Africa, having the highest road fatalities caused by trucks.
And looking at this and obviously taking into consideration the cost pressures that are involved in operating and maintenance of a fleet, it cannot be ignored, however, that a proper and efficient risk management program that includes the operation as well as the management of driver hiring and policies can feed into not only cost saving, but also limiting the loss or lowering loss ratios for the fleet owners. These measures in risk management include telematics, where we can monitor driver behavior from stopping, braking and turning. A health management program that speaks not only for the driver's healthcare, but also their eyesight and long-term future needs. The maintenance of the fleet, such as wear and tear of the brakes, as well as the vehicles themselves, and also proper driver hiring procedures where experienced drivers are not only hired, but also continuously trained on the job. All these factors will lead into, as mentioned, a lower loss ratio, as well as the fleet performance and efficiency as well.
All right. We need to offer tailor-made solutions for the fleet, taking into account risk management measures in place, such that we are able to price the risk and offer on a basis of a higher deductible or an aggregate excess loss, such that the insured take an active interest in the claims management. Considering that us as insurers are the one we usually pick up these losses, we need to go beyond offering insurance such that we are involved in the client's risk management process, so that we assist them in that process so that they better manage it, which will in turn reduce or prevent future losses. We need to also introduce reward programs that rewards the insured for good risk management measures, good driver behavior, and also the overall performance of the business. We need to introduce a driver daycare where we focus on their physical and mental health, educate them on the driver fatigue consequences, and also train them. We need to also encourage retention of drivers and also reward good driving behavior.
We believe in taking care of people first. This will feed into a holistic risk management program. Good fleet performance equals more money in your pockets and a happier and healthier driver. Insurers which partner with fleet owners will create a tailored risk management program.
Thank you. Well done on your time management. You all got a chance to speak. Maybe a little bit easier to handle 3 team members than 4 or 5. But yeah, I think that wasn't a bad effort. Clyde, anything jump out at you in this group?
Yeah, I think you kind of ticked most of the boxes that I was looking for. But the one thing that I didn't hear a lot about was the actual cost pressures and what impacts the fleet owner outside of the insurance problem in the industry.
Rewarding the clients in some way for the time when they are down with maintenance. In some aspect, it could be a monetary consideration or a reward type program for making sure that their maintenance is fully up to date would probably be the best solution.
So I'm still not getting the cost pressures in terms of what impacts a fleet owner. So insurance is part of that ecosystem, but there's a lot more to running a fleet than just making sure your insurance premium is paid and you've managed to service your fleet. There are other external factors that do impact fleet ownership and management as well.
Definitely. I mean, fleet owners need to take care of security. For instance, for goods in transit loads where they might be carrying high risk costs, that's one of the concerns that they will have there. But that's a measure that naturally speaks to if your goods arrive, then you are paid. So it's something that needs to happen. There'll be security. And secondly, also looking at things like driver training. That is a cost that they will need to incur there. But understanding that a risk management program that includes security will help free up the liquid capital to take care of the macro issues there.
Yeah, good response. Knox, anything from you?
So you mentioned the pricing model and how important it is to get that right. But how do you gain a clear understanding of the risks and then price accordingly?
On that one, I believe that we as insurers, we have collected enough data amongst ourselves that are able to tell us where our most expenses are in terms of that particular. So we have a general idea of the average repair cost of a fleet. So we are able to price accordingly so that at least our industry is sustainable.
I'd like to ask Anele just to elaborate on something. I mean, you're familiar with Discovery's shared value concept across their product range. So how would you see this as being beneficial to the fleet owners, especially in view of some of the macro issues you mentioned?
Definitely. The value proposition needs to filter through as if you're on our personal vehicles. We have it where it lowers your premium as well as your vitality drive and your points. This can also be copied into the commercial space or for the fleet owners where with the telematics solution where we're monitoring how drivers are driving through a point system that can be used. You can now accumulate that per driver to lower perhaps their premium when it comes to their health if they do have medical aid with Discovery, or perhaps cash back if they do have Discovery Bank. And that can be an incentivized way to actually promote for drivers to drive more carefully.
Who of you online right now did not read your part of the presentation? It all seemed like you were reading from a script.
No, I did refer to the presentation, but I wasn't reading off it.
Okay, this is a bugbear of mine every year. So if you weren't reading, that means you were delivering a relatively boring presentation. I think you need to lift your energy a bit. You've only got a couple of tasks left before we crown the apprentice. And right now, I'm not seeing any ambassadors in front of me. All right. Thanks, guys. You're dismissed. Team B, your time starts now.
Yes, thank you. So thank you so much for the opportunity of this task. It was quite an interesting one for us, and I hope that we put our best foot forward. I'm going to speak about the differentiators that our product could offer, that differentiates us from the market, of course. And my colleague Brandon will speak through the incentives we could offer the client and the mitigations that this will mean to risk and loss ratios. So we really looked on 3 top items that we could promote as value-added services to a fleet product. The first one being a vehicle wellness check that we get our clients to do at a Discovery vehicle wellness center on a periodic level. So that way, our client and us are made aware of any underlying issues in the maintenance that their other specialists could not pick up. And doing this periodically will also mean that we can pick up on those areas that just keeps on cropping up all the time and decide whether our client is doing a good enough job at maintaining their vehicle or not. The second thing that we're looking at is how can we get better drivers on the road, more confident drivers on the road, training them and upskilling them without the client spending too much money on that. And we're looking at a driver academy kind of deal where we use the telematics system to monitor driver behavior and pick out those, I'm going to call them bad drivers in inverted commas, but it's really not to get them into trouble, but bring them into perhaps a simulated environment and upskill them on their driving behavior. The third thing that we're looking at, and we loosely calling it a trip advisor, but the basis of this is really to monitor the infrastructure on our roads. I'm sure we agree that we do have some poor roads in South Africa, and if we could use our telematics system, the camera, to take pictures of potholes and damaged roads, and perhaps in real time send that and the GPS coordinates to the government and to Discovery and try and get those roads fixed urgently, because we don't want drivers swerving to avoid potholes only to kill other people and damage other vehicles. And with that, I want to hand over to my colleague to complete the presentation.
Thanks, Sumit. You'd find that we actually drew inspiration from some of Discovery's existing business initiatives. And as we've mentioned with the vehicle wellness check, the purpose of it is to identify risks. In terms of the reward that we could offer to a client, we could perhaps, in terms of his Vitality Drive cashback, provide him with base points or perhaps a specific level of cashback percentage to reward him for actually having this done. Over and above that, we recommend that in line with this, we can introduce possibly a health insurance-based product that could talk to the screening of the drivers, just to get a risk perspective of their health status, and if needed, help encourage them to keep their health risks in check. The driver academy model that we spoke to is basically just encouraging drivers to obviously enhance their skills, which obviously in turn reduces the risk. But at the same time, we can look at this as a gateway opportunity for new drivers coming into the industry that could perhaps have a certification of some sort, just to advise as to, they've done this course and they're now ready to work and they're basically backed by Discovery. We could pass this leads or sort of like a generation through to our clients, and this allows them to be confident that they have good drivers in place. Lastly, we have the Trip Advisor, or so we call it. The purpose of this is to take the information that telematics gathers and actually then bring it back to reporting. So if you're doing an overnight trip or a long distance trip that you're not necessarily familiar with, log this into the system, let our Trip Advisor bring up potential risks that are on the route that you're actually traveling. And that actually helps a lot. What we could also do in terms of a value add in terms of a Vitality partner is to look at road lodges. So when it's
Brendan,
long distance,
your time has run out. Thank you. All right, thanks, guys. I think that was quite bold to do your presentation without a presentation. Although I'm sure Clyde will talk to you about some of the issues that you missed.
We did talk about cost pressures. You did touch on it marginally, but that still completes the whole ecosystem in terms of the efficiency of the fleet. I didn't hear too much on that. And then also on insurance product and maybe how you structure products differently outside of the wellness program to the fleet owner's benefit.
from a cost factor, I think that bringing in these value-added services will firstly improve the loss ratios, because people are now more aware of where the faults lie and are working. Discovery and the client working together to eliminate those risks, and with that, you're putting less claims into the market, and your renewals are getting better. The premiums, the rates will get better. Lower loss ratio means better rates, and we all know that the motor loss ratio generally in the industry is just way high, and I think these value-added services could do something good for an HCV cost from that perspective.
You're still going back into insurance mode. Cost pressures outside of the insurance model in terms of how you run your fleet more efficiency and what's impacting on that. So I don't think you've addressed that yet.
If we look at bringing in partners, reward partners that would offer preferential rates to clients to maintain their vehicles in a good and proper condition, that could bring in some more buy-in from them. And gosh, Brandon, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, just talking back to, and again, this is just the rewards principle more than anything else, is that to show the client at the end of the day that you're partnering with them, you're willing to go into.
Guys, can I ask you, what's the most expensive thing on a truck besides buying a truck?
The cargo.
No. Petrol.
Oh.
Fuel, yeah. So fuel rewards, obviously. Gosh, we spoke about that, Trevor.
Yeah, I think it just appears that you missed some of the sort of cost challenges that face trucking businesses. That would have been a good point of departure. Knox,
according to your guys and the process that you went through, what are the actual elements of the HCV ecosystem?
Yeah, so I think in the interest of time, we didn't really speak much about it. But if we're looking at, the HCV ecosystem, what are the elements of the ecosystem? So this is a logistics business that we're dealing with.
You are the best tap dancer I have ever seen. Let me see now. That question, I'm so glad you asked me that. The HCV ecosystem. If one thinks about the HCV ecosystem, well, one could really say that ta-ta-ta-la-ta-ta. Do you have an answer?
So I'm just trying to, just articulate this in a nice way, and I'm just afraid that I'm going to use the wrong choice of words, so my apologies.
Stop.
You know what? I'm going to time out.
Yes.
I have got a final question,
okay,
if I may.
Knox. One last question from Knox.
So, I'll give you this one. Okay. So, driver daycare, health and wellness checks, all of that, very noble. But how do you think a solution with all these incentives and added benefits will actually compare price-wise in a very competitive insurance market? And will this business actually take off if you guys are offering this? And how are you going to price for it?
Yeah, so we obviously would need to bring in an element of free cover to the client to get buy-in from the market, and I suppose that as the book grows, then we can start we can start bringing in more enhanced benefits within these value-added services and then charge fees for this, and obviously sustain our business at the same day. And also, the whole point of bringing this is
Sunita, I just want to, Brendan, do you agree with this? What Sunita is saying right now?
So to an extent, yes. However, in terms of what we looked at when we looked at this whole process, was we looked at the shared value model that Discovery works on and emphasizes on. And what our thought process was, by making the client have a healthier risk, obviously we can then pass on that benefit or that reduced risk profits, then a percentage of that onto the client. So that was what our whole idea was based on.
All right, I think we're running out of time. Clyde, do you have any last comments?
No, I liked a bit of the innovation side of this, but it's just they failed to address some of the core elements of the task itself.
Okay, guys, thanks for your time. We'll obviously get back to you in the deliberation. I think it's not clear which is the winning team because they didn't all tick all the boxes.
I was very impressed by their innovative solutions. I think they focus on wowing us, but what goes into the fact that they didn't even think about fuel. Yeah. And it could have been anything else. Could have been tires, it could have been maintenance.
And everyone missed RTMS compliance.
And that was part of the reading that they had.
I think what you said at the beginning is if you're just going to focus purely on an insurance product, you are irrelevant in the industry at the moment.
What I did enjoy was the TripAdvisor sort of pothole scanning thing. I thought that was really creative.
There's brilliance here. It just comes out in
There's a nervous
waves
energy
of
in a bubble.
Yeah.
But the tap dancing is impressive.
It was. It's like a proper broker. I don't really want to know what I'm saying right now, but I'm going to buy myself some time. I'd be leaning towards...
I agree.
There was a regression back into product knowledge all the time, not addressing the key elements.
We've never had an instance where we send home someone from a winning team.
But we don't have a winning team.
I beg to differ.
These guys had zero innovation in their prep,
correct.
which is a key part of the discovery offering. These guys had innovation and not a hell of a lot else around it. For me, I just don't feel that any team really nailed it.
We look at what can you disrupt, but also what are the nuts and bolts that are
absolutely
the hygiene factors that need to be there. But the disruption factor is huge as well. If we can't disrupt, we're not going to do it.
Because you can't have innovation without the nuts and bolts, and vice versa.
Yeah. As a broker, if I try and sell you innovation, I can't produce the nuts and bolts.
I'm going to tell you to fly because you're not looking after the things that really actually matter to me.
And if I provide you with nuts and bolts and no differentiators,
then I could get that anywhere else.
Okay, let's put it to a vote then.
What do you think, Clyde?
It's a difficult decision to make this.
Do we vote keeping them in teams and accepting that there is a winning team? Or do we say there's no winning team and we look at them as individuals?
I would agree with you, Simon. I think at this stage of the competition, you get into almost everyone for themselves. And there was no overall winner that delivered on the task. So I think possibly we need to look at an individual rather than a team.
Knox?
I have to agree with that. It is a competition and they've continuously been told to bring their A games each time. And they need to shine. We need an ambassador. So
I always go back to that. Who goes into the final? Could every one of them be an ambassador? And if the answer to that question is no, then who must go? And I think based on this last performance, to me it's clear who needs to go.
We have our decision.
All right, welcome back, teams. Yeah, it was kind of a confusing effort. I'm just going to hand over to Clyde and he can sort of pick up on some of the points.
Yeah, I don't think any team got to the complete ecosystem of what we were looking for. And I think there were bits and pieces of the right stuff in each presentation, but we didn't kind of complete the ecosystem in terms of what we were looking for. And I think that was kind of a shortcoming in both presentations.
We didn't feel that either team actually nailed the task. On the one hand, we had one team that really went into the nuts and bolts, covered some of the macro issues that are facing HCV businesses, and that was a part of the brief, but there was very little, in fact nothing mentioned of any sort of innovative thinking or tools that could be applied. And that is of course a key factor in the discovery offering. And then in our other team, You know who you are, Team B. I have to say, I've never seen such an unstructured mess of a presentation. You took a risk. At first, I thought it was going to work. You didn't have an actual PowerPoint. So you dealt with it as a conversation, which was a nice change for us. But because you did that, you didn't seem to have any reference point. There was a lot of dancing around the issues. There was repetition. In fact, let me ask you, whose idea was this trip advisor? Who thought of that? Who thought of the pothole scanning?
So it was a joint effort, I would say, Simon.
You both immediately thought of the same idea at the same time.
Oh, it was.
I'm not sure how or so.
Okay, let me repeat that. So the idea around the pothole scanning and trip advisor, how did that come about? Who thought of that idea?
Yeah, so, we were building on ideas. So it started off with telematics, and then I said, okay, can we use telematics to take photographs of the potholes? And then Brendan came in and said, okay,
so
let's
whose
take
idea
it one
was
step
it?
further and actually monitor the entire trip, especially on long hauls.
Okay, but was there did somebody say, hey, let's do this pothole scanning thing? Who thought of that?
So that would be me.
Samit, that was your idea. Well, it was a great idea. I think it certainly impressed us, and well done for putting it together. That was a really solid idea. We liked the idea of scanning for potholes on journeys and feeding that back to a team that could start repairing those road conditions. So we thought that was extremely innovative. Anele and Fiona, I thought you did quite well today. I thought you held it together. You stuck to your part of the brief. Taffy, yeah, it was not convincing for me. I felt like you were again just kind of being sucked into something that you were comfortable with, not really stretching yourself too much. So even though this was a team event, we couldn't pick a clear winner. It wouldn't be right because you both missed the brief. We had to take a view, putting the teams together and looking at you as a single group rather as two individual teams. Taffy, I saw you just drop your head there. What's going on through your mind right now?
The emotions are high. It sucks to be in the same spot again. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, the judges have decided and the decision was unanimous. Taffy, your cargo almost arrived at its destination, but the journey has ended in complete disaster. You've lost your load and jackknifed your apprentice campaign, and you can go no further. Goodbye. All right, congratulations to our top 4. Sumit, how are you feeling right now?
A sense of relief. I really thought I was in trouble there, Simon. Because as you said earlier, it's not about accumulation of points throughout the game, but what you do here and now. So, gosh, I just thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to go to the next level. That's all from me.
And if you fail in this, you've got a wonderful career in a dance troupe. All right, so next week, one of you will walk away with the prestigious title of the Insurance Apprentice 2021 and all the prizes that go with it. Thank you, Knox, for joining me again today. I know we don't always agree, but is there anything you'd like to add before we say goodbye to the top 4?
Just a word, guys. Obviously, well done on making top 4. I don't need to tell you what's at stake. You guys all know why you entered, and this is it. And I've been harping on about this, but show up.
Thanks, Knox. And of course, a big thank you to Clyde Troop representing Discovery here today. It was an excellent task and we appreciate your sponsorship. Thanks,
Thank you,
Clyde.
Simon.
And thank you, of course, to our studio sponsor, which is Old Mutual Insure. Next week is the official season finale. So we will be crowning this year's Insurance Apprentice. It's going to happen in the episode. There is no event happening afterwards. So if you want to take a guess at who it is, make sure you share it on social media and hashtag TIA 2021 before next week's episode, and you could win a fantastic prize. Be sure to tune in on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. You really don't want to miss this. Until next time, be safe, and I'll see you soon.